Welcome back to Great Day. Previous generations used to say, if you want to keep the peace, don't bring up politics or religion. When the 60s rolled around, that generation of hippies encouraged us to question our government, and we've been doing it ever since. Our next guest says, at the same time we need to be engaged in politics, we also need to be respectful and work toward a common goal of improving our nation. Sophia Nelson is the author of the new book, Pluribus One, Reclaiming Our Founders' Vision for a United America. Hello there. All right, you live in the hotbed of a lot of the controversy in Washington, D.C. And so what prompted you to write this book? What did you see that said, I have to do something?
The 2016 campaign. I mean, we kind of had a precursor that we were going to end up here in this very divided place during the election. And so this book came out actually right the day of the inauguration of the new president. Here we are 18 months later. And we're very divided as a country. So I was a little bit ahead of the curve. I saw it coming.
Okay, so we the people are the government and the policymakers. And a lot of times we forget that. We kind of abdicate and get busy in our own lives, and we kind of toss it to somebody else to take care of until we get mad at something. So you have kind of this thing that you want us to do, to kind of practice in our daily lives to unify. One is ask a coworker to lunch, but not just any coworker.
Right. Well, look, right now we're in a hotbed of an immigration crisis, right? People, a man was beaten with a brick yesterday, an old 91-year-old man. We're very uncivil and incivil towards each other. So my thing is, get to know somebody who doesn't look like you, who has a different religion than you, but they're an American too, and treat them as such.
Because we're very quick to say, but America, we're a land made of immigrants from around the world, but at the same time, we kind of section ourselves off and kind of pit each other against it. We almost become tribal in a sense sometimes.
We need to know our history, though. This great republic was formed half slave and half free. Until we have the real conversation about how we started, e pluribus unum, out of many one. That wasn't meant for people that look like you and me or for white women. It was meant for white male landowners. That's the legacy of how we began. And the demographics of this country have made us tribal, as you say, because they're shifting, more brown than more white. It's a different America.
Competition among each other, right? Okay. Perform random acts of kindness. This is, even in psychology, they're saying the power that has to do something kind to a stranger.
When the rest of us watched back in Washington, you here in Houston deal with the aftermath of the hurricane, what warmed my heart was the people I saw wade in the water and rescue. They didn't care what color somebody was. They didn't care about what religion. They cared about their fellow American, their fellow human being. Those were random acts of goodness and kindness, and it made us all feel proud of what you all were doing here in Houston.
And you can do something really small. The other day I was at Chick-fil-A, and I went to go pay, and the lady said, the woman in front of you already paid for you.
Oh, wow.
Which is very sweet. But it's a little thing, or paying somebody's toll for them, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Be positive on social media and text. And this one really gets me, because people will spout their opinion. And I think if you're going to do something really, you know, vitriolic, and we get passion, but know what you're talking about.
Facebook has broken up more friendships and more relationships. This is not me making this up. This is articles, news articles. I've seen the posts, you've seen them. We attack because we like the president, we don't like him, we feel some way, we don't. And then we forget that we're human beings, and then we take our politics and we make them personal. I would tell people to stop doing that. Have an opinion, but be informed and think reasonably. Make people come to your side by how you persuade them, not attack them.
Yeah, persuade them with the facts that you have, right? Because oftentimes people will say, I just don't like that person. Well, that's not good enough. Give me something else, okay? Support and engage elected officials. Again, we've kind of made it a us against them type of thing. The thing is, they are the ones in office. They are the ones who are going to make the decision. You can be on their side or not, but if you're on their side, let them know how you feel and what you'd like them to do as elected officials.
Deb, there are some things that are beyond partisanship. For example, I'll come back again in Houston. I was with Councilwoman Edwards yesterday. She's one of my sorority sisters. And we were talking, and she said, you guys haven't gotten your money yet for the relief. Houston needs $110 billion. Why is Washington holding up that money? You guys are American citizens. You need that. We need to support you beyond the politics of Republican, Democrat, or if, you know, we need to cut that out. Stop.
And you can actually start with who your elected officials are.
Absolutely.
Know who your representative in Congress is. Who are your senators?
Governor.
Know who they are. And there's a lot of power in writing. There we go. We've got our folks there. Our senators, Ted Cruz, John Cornyn, and Culberson is in my district. But know who they are so that you can engage with them. I remember I wrote a letter to Barbara Jordan when I was in 6th grade and our 7th grade, and I said I want to go to the trip in Washington D.C. and my mom said we can't afford it, and she sent a letter back and said education must be your first concern. And so my mom's like, well, if Barbara says you're going, I guess you're going. They got it together, and I was able to go, and she met my
If I could bring up one thing on that, you know, the Supreme Court has a vacancy now, and people are saying, well, we can't. Yeah, you can. Write to your senator. The Constitution says the Senate shall advise and consent. Yeah. So you can make an impact. If you like him, tell him. If you don't, tell your senator.
But tell them why.
Tell them why.
Yeah, you can't just say, I just don't like him. In fact, there was a group that sent out a press release, and they got a hold of the press release, and it said, we disagree with President Trump's nomination of this person because, but both the person and the because were blank.
Wow.
Because they already knew that they were going to disagree just to disagree. Right. So it's
Understood.
like, wait and see what's going to happen, right? Praise more, complain less, and stop the complaints.
This gets back to where we started. E pluribus unum, out of many one. Let me say this. We were never supposed to agree. That's not how this country was founded. We're not supposed to always get along. We're supposed to have healthy tension. We're supposed to argue sometimes, but be respectful. You don't have to attack the other person.
It's like being in a court of law. Here's the deal. You have a defense and you have the prosecution, right? Both of you plead your case and then put all the facts out there so people can make a decision. It's something very simple. Exercise your right to vote.
Absolutely. The 2018 midterms are coming up in November. I think they will be one of the most pivotal elections of our generation and in this country's history. So I want to encourage people to get informed and engaged. And remember, we the people of the United States of America form this republic, not the politicians. It's about us.
Yeah, and you're right, it is pivotal because the country is changing. See, I voted. I walked around with my little sticker in my head. I voted. All right. But with that said, there are still a lot of folks who are disenfranchised or disengaged for a reason. They don't feel like they're part of the fold. I know I challenged our Democratic representatives here and our Republicans here and said, here's my issue. As an African American, oftentimes I feel like Democrats think they already have my vote, historically, and Republicans think we'll never get it, so we won't lobby toward it. There's a whole new group of us that are saying, wait a minute, we want to hear what you have to say, right? And so we have to make sure they understand that you don't have our vote automatically and that you got to work for our vote.
You and I are born post-civil rights generation. Our parents and our great-grandparents were all Republicans when they were black. Then it switched in the 1960s. So one party takes us for granted, one party ignores us. That's unacceptable. But people, you got to know your documents. Have you read the Constitution?
Yeah.
Read it.
We the people of these United States in order to form a more perfect union. Right.
And what I tried to do in the book, Deb, was make it simple and break it down into exactly what you and I were talking about. So people knew that people change this country.
So this book is, you learn a lot out of this book. And then millennials pick this book up. And those of you who thought you knew the way the system worked, pick this book up because we have to re-engage. Our country, you're right, it's a pivotal point. And so this next time is going to determine where this country goes for the next several decades.
Women's rights, civil rights, immigration rights, all of those things are on the table, and they'll last for the next 40, 50 years, what we do today.
All right, Sophia, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
By the way, you're in town for the AKA Boule. You got your pink and green on. You are representing pink and green with your red, white, and blue. United we stand. All right. For more information on Sophia Nelson and her new book, E Pluribus One, we have a link on greatdayhouston.com.